Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. I'm your host, Sam Randazzo, and I am joined by my two slightly over it co-hosts. To my right is the one, the only, Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And I must, did you shave this morning?
No.
You didn't shave the head this morning?
No.
Yesterday.
Last night.
It looks awfully soft right now. It's very smooth.
Very soft.
Especially you guys
know.
can see it under the light.
I know. I want to rub it for good luck right now. And to my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Zolo, Mike Palazzolo.
Last.
And behind the computer, absolutely pulverizing his own pickles, Bruce the Tugboat Venditti, as always.
How you doing?
Real quick, I got to give a shout out to Dave. Hi, Dave.
Who's Dave?
He just asked for a shout out and he's listening right now.
Dave?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Dave. Shout out to Dave. Mysterious Dave. Shout out to Mysterious Dave.
That's Dave.
Uh,
He says rub Uncle Sam's head for $10.
Can I touch your head or no?
No.
Okay. Anyways, we have a lot to catch up on today. But before we get into that, how was last week with President Baker? Shout out to President Baker's already in the chat. We've only been live for a minute and a half. Uncle Sam, your thoughts on President Baker as a host?
As a host,
Yeah.
it was interesting.
Interesting at best. Zolo?
In an autistic way.
President Baker told me on the side that he was very nervous. And I'm like, why the hell?
He was, I could tell.
Why were you nervous?
Fucking
And I
ear
think
and headlight.
I agree with you. And I
Look.
think the best is yet to come for President Baker.
I heard the laugh. Well, I was listening to the.
Yes.
I was listening and I heard the laugh. And I was like, oh, yeah, he's shitting bricks right now. But
Yeah.
shout out to President Baker
He
filling
gave
in
it, gave it a good effort.
in my absence. Are you guys glad to have me back? Did you miss me?
Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You?
Sure.
Uncle Sam went under the knife this week.
Just go on.
He had 4 wisdom teeth taken out. The top 2 came out without problem. And the bottom 2 were so deeply fused into his bone that as they cut them out, they kept them in a jar to
They had him
use
in a Petri.
The Petri dish.
going forward to try and learn how something this prehistoric could happen.
I got 2 questions. Number 1, did you know that I also still have all 4 of my wisdom teeth?
Let me tell you
That's
something.
rare.
I'm going to tell you this. I've
Yeah.
never had a problem with mine.
Okay.
It's never been a pain issue.
Okay.
The problem is they were impacted. And I think my hearing issues could have been a stent for that.
Can you finally fucking hear now?
As you see, I'm not screaming.
It's possible.
Yeah.
And I can hear everything everybody's saying.
It's possible, amongst other issues. Yeah, mine have never been impacted. They've been telling me to get mine out
Yeah.
for like 20 years, and I haven't
And
done it.
let me tell you something. If you're going to do it and have it done, get put under like Bruce. Be the pussy and get it put under.
He chose
Be
to
the
do it
pussy.
without anesthesia.
No, they did give me Novocaine. They shot it off.
That's not anesthesia.
the problem was they couldn't get the teeth out.
Yeah. Did they have to break out?
they
Did
had
they have
to
to break them up? Or did they?
Oh, they had to drill everything first.
Okay.
And then they had to refreeze me 3 times
Mm-hmm.
because it got to a point where the Novocaine was wearing off. So, and you could feel them hitting nerve. And I will tell you, go under, because it was supposed to be a 40-minute procedure, and they want to be in almost 3.5 hours.
I got one follow-up question, and then we can
Go
move on. Why not? Like, did someone tell you you have to fucking do that? I mean, obviously they were
Well,
impacted, but they could have been
I
impacted
had
for a
one
long
that
time.
that was growing into my other tooth that I couldn't get.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it at it to clean it anymore.
Yeah, got it. And
And
was it
it's-
causing you pain?
I actually had to have one of these fixed
Yeah.
after this.
Got it.
So
In other surgical tip surgery news, shout out to Gary No Football. I know that name has been brought up here in a long time, but former host Gary No Football split his ball bag in 2 and had double hernia surgery on Monday. He wasn't able to piss for 3 days, but we're wishing nothing but T's and P's out to Gary No Football as he recovers from the double ball bag transplant.
Just in time for the wedding.
Just in time for the wedding.
that's it.
How's your week been so far? I haven't seen you in 10 days. How's your week been?
What do you mean?
It was, we missed something. It was Uncle Sam's birthday.
Anyway,
What day?
Sunday?
Sunday.
It was Sunday. It was Uncle Sam's birthday.
Congratulations. Not happy birthday. Congratulations.
And how old?
I made it that far. I heard.
How old?
58.
58. 58th birthday.
That's pretty good.
How'd you celebrate the day?
I went to the beach. I took my kids and my wife and went to Luna Pier. It's kind of shitty. The sand was full of algae and shit. But
Are you familiar with Luna
it's
Pier?
pretty cool.
I'm not familiar with Luna
Pretty
Pier.
cool.
Luna Pier is the furthest point south in Michigan.
Really?
Yeah, it's like an
Right on the
almost
Ohio.
it's an island, and it goes past the Ohio border actually because it's an island.
Okay.
I tried to go there for the eclipse, and it took forever to get there to the point where we just couldn't get there, and we watched from a freeway overpass right by Luna Pier
Huh.
because it was in path of totality.
Didn't know it existed.
It's 40 minutes from my house. It's actually closer to my brother's. Yeah, we went there and spent basically from about 8:30 in the morning to about 3:30 there, and I went home.
Did you eat anything?
I had pizza, Toromino's pizza.
That was the last meal before the wisdom teeth?
That was the last meal, the actual meal that I ate was Sunday.
So you haven't eaten solid food?
I
since
haven't
Sunday.
eaten solid food. No, I've been eating like pudding and
What kind of pudding?
mashed potato.
What kind? What's your go-to pudding?
It doesn't matter as long as it's got chocolate on it. It's
So chocolate.
chocolate, vanilla.
I've always been partial to butterscotch.
I like
pudding
butterscotch. It's my
Butterscotch.
favorite.
Butterscotch
That's
pudding's
excellent pudding.
the best one. Yeah.
Excellent.
Zolo, how has your last 10 days been since we last met?
We're good. We're good. Someone quit at work, and it's kind of all piled on me. But it's okay. A lot of pickle. Getting really good at pickle. Would love to play pickle with both of you guys.
Tip pickle. We're gonna pickle.
I have a game of pickle that I do on my own.
It's okay. That's okay. You're 58. You should be.
In some humongous news, tip softball. Quarterfinals last night. Started out a little bit slow. Put up 2 in the first, 2 in the second, no runs in the third. All right, against a fierce opponent. End up winning the game in 5, 19-2. Advancing to the semis next Tuesday in a doubleheader to go to the championship. Tip softball's on a heater right now. We have rings in our future. We have rings in our future. It's time. Now is time to turn on the gas, and tip softball is going to run the table the rest of the way. Just saying. Great catching performance out of Bruce. It was a fabulous.
Hard
night
for me
all
to
the way
believe
around.
this, but
What?
that Bruce is any good.
Bruce decides when he wants to do good things and when he doesn't.
That is true.
It's
His
just like him as an
whole work
employee.
ethic is that.
It's
Correct.
just like him as an employee.
This is coming from the two people who never play.
Bruce is. That's because if we weren't there to coach and keep the morale up, nobody would know what to do.
What do you mean? I think we would be just fine like we were that one day. We had barely enough people to go out there, and we still beat
You guys beat the old men by 2 runs when I wasn't there.
No.
Yeah, you guys beat Birds of Prey by 2 runs.
At Elmsworthy?
Yep.
I wasn't at that game. I was in Africa.
Neither of us were at that game, and you guys won by 2 runs against the worst team in the league. That didn't win a
We're
game.
thinking
Later.
of
They won-
Anyways.
they won a game at the
games
end.
here, but
Just saying.
we'll have to bring out the stats.
Just saying. I'm the glue that holds this all together.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep telling yourself.
Now, with that being said,
I want credit for not playing yesterday because I
Yeah.
set the team back when I play.
at the end of the day, when we're batting 17 people, and we have a couple,
crazy.
I mean, it's better to remove yourself and just be where you're needed. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't play because I don't
about
want to
the
play.
team, bud.
I
Not
play
about
for I
yourself.
don't play for the good of the team. That's what you're missing. Now, you on the other hand can be good all the time, but
Every time I step up to the plate, I'm trying to hit the ball.
you are 50%
every time I'm
of the
behind the
time
plate,
fuck
catching
that, and 50% of the time, yeah, I guess I'll
When
do
is
it.
that true? I go hard every time we play.
I'm just saying.
I'm running hard every time we play.
He had the equipment. The game was at 7:30. The first game before us ended in a mercy at 6:55. Where was the equipment? Still at Bruce's house.
Guess
because
what
he
time
hadn't
I got
left
there?
yet.
7:10. Guess what time
It was not
everybody else?
7:10.
Guess what time everybody else got there?
It was not 7:10.
7:30 when the game started.
Was not 7:10.
There was 4 people.
All right, nobody
there
gives
when
a
I
fuck.
got
I
there.
called you
move
at
on.
7:10 and you
4
hadn't left your
people
house
there.
yet.
Let's
Anyway,
move on. Yes.
4
anyways, moving on to talk about football. Training camp's in full swing. We've had some big extensions happen over the last few days. Some holdouts. But what I thought was the most interesting part of the day was I got Twitter update after Twitter update of fights happening at training camp. Okay? There was a fight at Steelers training camp today. There was a fight at Cowboys training camp today. There has been nothing but fights happening in every single training
That
camp
happens
thus
all
far.
the time.
Yes, but how?
Happens
Why?
all the time. Cause, man, you're in the heat, you're in the battle. It's going to happen.
Well,
They only have
Justin Fields taking a massive hit today at Steelers camp was the reason why that fight started. And the defense supposedly just started going at him as hard as they could. Offensive line got involved. Big fight broke out. Do you think,
It's Pittsburgh, dude.
well,
practice how you play. He doesn't.
they're hitting the quarterback.
Yeah,
And at the end of the
quarterbacks
day-
are no-nos. You're not supposed
That's
to.
ridiculous.
We don't know.
Yes.
We don't know. He could be the starting guy there. We don't know yet.
It's true.
See what happens.
I think
Very true. It's usually you never touch the quarterback. You're touching him, you're shoving him, and that's it. Not bringing him to the ground.
But besides that, let's get into some extension talk. We have a new highest paid, well, tied for highest paid quarterback in the league. I have some strong feelings about this one, but I get it, but I don't like it, but I understand it. Jordan Love, Packers quarterback Jordan Love, 4-year, $225 million extension, $75 million in a signing bonus, $155 million guaranteed. I've got to hear both your guys' thoughts on this because that ties him now with Burrow and Trevor Lawrence, who I think is overpaid.
That aren't. There's other guys that need to be signed yet, too.
Well, Dak's the only
Prescott
one that
is gonna
hasn't been
bust
paid
that
yet.
and-
But, okay, hold on. We're now putting, all right, I thought it was kind of ridiculous to have Trevor Lawrence at the top of that list. Because in my opinion, Trevor Lawrence is not a $55 million man. Joe Burrow, I'm good with that. But Jordan Love? Jordan Love?
Yeah, I think he's the guy.
Well,
They're hoping he's the guy.
I guess there's two ways you can look at this, right? The Packers ran Aaron Rodgers out of fucking town for years. They wanted him gone, okay? And they brought in Jordan Love was the guy to replace him. And I feel like now
Was that the regime that's in charge now?
Yes.
Brought Love in?
Yes,
It was.
it is. And if I'm not wrong, this is Mark Murphy's last year, correct?
Yes.
So he didn't. You have to. If you're him, you have to pay Jordan Love, right? You're the one who ran Aaron Rodgers out. This is your guy. You picked him.
Actually, it wasn't him. I believe it was the coach.
Either way,
So Brian Gutekunst, the GM, is the one that drafted Jordan Love and has a say in this as well. But yeah,
But
it's
that
Mark Murphy's
was
last year.
That's what he wanted. That's what what's his name had wanted, right?
Aaron Rodgers,
No.
yeah.
LaFleur?
LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur wanted that, right?
either way. If you're him, I get why you're paying him. You have to. This is your last year. Really, it doesn't fucking matter if it goes good or goes bad.
As GM, that was not a stupid move. You had an aging quarterback. You wanted to get the guy behind him, just like he did with Favre.
Okay.
How many years did fucking Aaron Rodgers sit before he played? You know, it's the same thing. That was a smart move at the time.
Yes. The draft. Let's.
We're not worried about that.
I agree with
you. I
We
get
agree
that.
with you. We
Now,
agree with you.
Do
Hey-
I think he deserves that money? No, I don't think he does. Not after what I seen last year.
This is the question that I posed to myself. How many other teams in this league would pay Jordan Love $55 million right now?
Depends on how many teams need a fucking
This is your
quarterback
favorite
right now.
exercise. I know this is your favorite.
How many other teams? Who else would do it? Because it's simple supply and demand, right? If you say, hey, we're going to hold off another year to sign you, and he wants to be a bitch about it and test free agency, who else is giving him that check? Because I'm sorry, I couldn't think of another team. I couldn't think of another team that would pay Jordan Love with 1 year's work experience, make him the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Tennessee.
Unless it was a team, I don't even think Tennessee would.
Carolina.
I don't think. Well, Carolina definitely would. There's nobody else. So you're betting against yourself. So the only way that I could rationalize this is that they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look stupid. And
He gives them their best chance of winning, period.
yeah, but
Well, over who?
Over whoever's out there right now.
Of course, because he's been in the system.
Correct.
But that
He's
doesn't.
been in the system 3 years.
But that doesn't mean he gives them a good chance of winning. He just
I think
gives
he
them
gives
their
them a
best
better
chance.
chance of winning than bringing a rookie in right now.
I think that
At this point.
I think they paid an unproven guy who at points last year looked really good, but at points last year looked bad.
Geno Smith.
Highest paid, yeah, but Geno Smith's a $30 million man.
Hold on now. Geno Smith was resurrected from the dead. Okay.
They paid him.
And he's about to ready to lose his.
He's going to lose his job.
Right.
They paid him all that money,
Right.
and I still don't think they're any better than a 10-win team at that max. And that's not going to be enough.
Jordan Love, you know what? He had signs of really improving, and then toward the end of the year, he cost them at the end of the year. He cost them the playoff game that they had lost, and it is what it is.
I'm sorry, I can't get behind it. I don't like it. I think
What
it's
it is.
setting.
I mean, at this point,
you're-
it's too early to say. Now, if he works out, that guy's gonna look like a fucking genius.
Well, but I know you're going to disagree
You know
with
what
this.
it was like? Bringing Jared Goff in on a
was
team that totally. Hold on.
Jared Goff made a Super
Bringing-
Bowl.
I understand that, but Jared Goff was also fucking cut loose because he couldn't win the Super Bowl at that time with that team. And he lost to one of the best teams in history, the Patriot team, where he threw 150 yards, okay, and looked absolutely
Putrid.
putrid. Okay, he comes to a team that won how many games the first year? 3? 3 wins? 4 wins?
I think so.
What did they win?
I-
Okay. Everybody said they wanted him gone. They didn't want him here. And the minute they started putting pieces around him and protecting him, then it was a different animal. So would you have said, go back 3 years ago, would you say, give Jared Goff the extension? Do you remember that talk?
No, but he
nobody
proved
wanted
it.
to do it.
He proved it and then got the
Right.
extension.
Right.
I don't think Jordan Love has proved
Well,
it.
it took him 2 years. How many years now? 3 to get that extension. It took him 3 years.
Correct, because the Lions did it the right way. I don't think the Packers did this the right way.
I don't think they've done it the wrong way. I think they're doing it the right way. The problem is this: is he the guy? They're not going to know this yet. It's like Brock Purdy getting an extension. Brock Purdy's going to get an extension because he was only on a fucking 1-year deal.
Brock Purdy's contract is not going to start with a 5.
He's going to get an extension either this year, at the end of this year, or next year.
Yes, but they were betting against themselves.
Correct. They're betting just like the Packers are. It's the same difference.
You ready for me?
Go.
I have a scenario for you that you guys haven't named, which I think it could trend on these lines. It's Daniel Jones. We're watching Hard Knocks, and they're trying to trade up for a quarterback to replace Daniel Jones a year after giving him that piss money that cost them Saquon and, other major free agent pieces last year. And now
That didn't cost him Saquon.
Oh, yeah.
it
That
cost
didn't
them,
cost him.
it cost them Saquon.
Saquon didn't want to be there anymore. He wanted out
Fair, but the main reason he didn't want
because
to
he
be
could have
there,
re-signed with them.
not with the money the Eagles gave him. Not with the money the Eagles
No,
gave him.
because the Eagles. Hey,
But last year,
he's
when
the
they
best
gave
GM in football.
last year, and he just talked about this on Diana Orsini's podcast on The Athletic. He goes, last year, I was trying to do it. And if you guys recall, it was the
They
tag
fucked him
deadline.
around. I know.
It was the tag deadline, and they got the Daniel Jones deal done, and they were working on something with Saquon, and they missed the deadline because they worked on Daniel Jones first. So they did fuck it up with Saquon because of Daniel Jones. And either way, that's just one side of it. The other side of it's the money. The money that they gave to Daniel Jones cost that you could have paid Saquon. Not the point. The point is Daniel Jones. We're watching him now. He tore his ACL his first year after the contract. We're watching him now in practice. If there's one quarterback I've seen on my Twitter feed that keeps getting a lot of shit, it's Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is getting shit on in the
not the
early part of
only
camp. I'm not saying he's the only one. I'm saying he's the one that's taking the most fucking heat in camp is Daniel Jones. And again, on Jordan Love, we've talked about this ad nauseum. You and I are on the same page on Jordan Love. You pay him, you don't give him that money off of 1 year's worth of work. The body of work just wasn't there. You have to pay him eventually, but you need a bigger body of work to give him that piss money.
I think they gave him this contract right here. And what is it for? 3 years or 4 years?
3, I think.
3 years?
Whatever it is.
Okay. They gave him this money.
Could be 4.
What other option did they have?
Agreed. But But
They're
I'm
not picking high enough to get a very good quarterback.
I'm not
and
getting
then you're
cuffed.
selling your soul.
I'm not getting cuffed by that though. I'm not getting cuffed by what other option do we have
Right.
other than to pay this guy $50 million after 1 year's worth of work.
Yeah.
I'm not biting on that personally.
That's what the Giants did.
30 million, 40 tops. 40 tops. And I said it during the year. I was high on Jordan Love going into the season. I think this guy is going to be good. I thought he was good last year. I don't think he was great. And I think $50 million, regardless of where the market is, if you're just paying a guy to keep up with the market, not good.
Agreed.
What's going on?
Not good, because he could be Daniel Jones. Now, he could exceed that. He could be the best quarterback in the league or a top 5 quarterback, and this could look like a bargain a year from now. Totally don't know.
I think they did the smart thing, to be honest with you.
But the fact that we don't know that if they did the smart thing means that it wasn't the smart thing, in my opinion. Because we don't. They could have. He could be really good. He could be the number 1 quarterback.
Let me ask you a question. With the receiver room they have there, before they drafted Neighbors, would you feel confident that Daniel Jones could succeed with what they had there?
No.
Absolutely.
I don't think Daniel Jones is going to succeed with what
I don't
they
think
have
he's
there
gonna.
now.
I don't think he's going to succeed.
I
with what he
think
currently has.
Neighbors is a fucking stud.
I agree,
Yeah,
but I don't think
Neighbors-
He's a fucking stud.
For every 5 bad Daniel Jones highlight, there's one absurdly good
There's
Neighbors
gonna be
highlight.
fucking some.
I think he's a stud too, and I think Neighbors is going to exceed whoever's throwing him the ball. But that's not the point. I don't know. Like Daniel Jones, this is shit or get off the pot. We watched on national TV.
The main thing that they've done there for him to fix him is the offensive line. They brought in veteran players that are good players. They might have overpaid for some of them guys, but they had to protect this guy. There's no way it's going to get done if that's not. And I feel sorry for Barkley. I'm sure he would have rather ran behind this line that they've put together this year than the garbage he was running behind for the last 3 years.
Now, this leads me to my next question because Tua signed as well, 4 years, $212.4 million.
There you go.
Tua's proved it.
Tua's proved it. Now,
To an extent, yeah.
I think now for me, that deal I don't mind.
No, if he could stay healthy, they got
Proved it
money.
more. Who's proved it more, Tua or Jordan Love?
Oh, I think too.
No questions asked. And Jordan Love got more money.
Yeah.
Jordan Love got more money. There's one big question mark left in the quarterback market, and that is Dak Prescott. And I know you're going to disagree with me. I know you will.
Go ahead.
There is no fucking way in hell that Jordan Love is worth more money than Dak Prescott. So what that means is, in this period, in this free agent, in this time in our lives, Dak Prescott, without question, should get more money than Jordan Love. So where does that leave us? Is Dak Prescott a $60 million a year man now?
That's where it looks like it's going.
I don't know how you can justify a world where within weeks of each other, because Dak probably will end up signing within the next couple weeks, where Jordan Love comes out of this free agency period getting a better deal than Dak Prescott. Agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
I think the Packers really played themselves here.
I'm not a Prescott guy,
I know you're not.
and I'm going to tell you this. If they do this, this is going to set their whole team behind for the next fucking 3 years.
Yeah, but how can you say that about Dak and
Hold on.
not about
But
Jordan
that's-
Love?
He did. It's the same principle as Jordan Love. What else do you do? What else are you going to
else do you do?
So do you think that it's going to set the Packers back then?
Possibly. The only reason why I'm going with Prescott,
He's consistent. He's not wrong, and he's not wrong.
the only reason why I would take Love over Prescott is the age thing. Okay?
It's fair.
I mean, I'm not a Prescott guy. Prescott has already shown me enough to know that he's Tony Romo reincarnated. He's great during the season. He puts up fucking monster numbers, gets into the playoffs. He's like, and like you said last year, he's Lamar Jackson. Forgot how to play football in the fucking playoffs. And that's why they went home.
Wow.
Is that what you told me?
Wow. I never thought you'd be this
Is there
agreeable.
anybody more
Oh,
is there anybody more
geez.
athletic than fucking Lamar Jackson? No.
But he just forgets how to play football.
He forgot how to play. It's one game that he forgot. The most important game, he forgot how to play football.
I'm right there with you. I know. But I just, that contract signing really didn't sit right with me. Really didn't. The 2-1 I'm good with.
I agree.
Tua and Goff are pretty much dead nuts on the exact same
Listen,
pay
we
scale.
gotta listen. By
and I'm
them
good with
taking
that.
care of Goff was the smartest thing that he fucking did.
Yep. And
Already a bargain.
And
Yeah,
we're sitting
already.
here,
All those contracts.
not only Goff, St. Brown,
Sewell.
Sewell,
Bargains.
Taylor Decker,
Bargains.
Taylor Decker that you signed in a 3-year extension. I mean, you don't have to scramble for a fucking left tackle now. You got 3 years to develop the guys that you've drafted that you
Hey.
can groom.
Hey, pending what happens with Ragnow, 4 out of the 5 offensive linemen
Are locked up.
Are under contract for the next 2 years. 4
Correct.
out of 5. The only one that's not is Zeitler. And
Right.
his replacement's somewhere on the roster. It's between Sorsdal
And so is
Manuel.
Deckers.
It's one of those
And
guys.
so is Deckers.
Deckers might be as well.
some other signing news. DJ Moore, 4 years, $110 million.
He deserves it. Underrated guy.
I mean, if you're going to invest
I
the
think
house
he
now, you
deserves
got to. Now, I think that the Bears think that their window has opened.
You got a quarterback on a rookie deal.
You have a quarterback on a rookie
How do you
deal.
do it?
You're going out. You're stacking wide receivers. You have Keenan Allen now. You just lock up DJ Moore. I mean, I think the Bears really think that they're going to make a threat and try and make it this year. So I can't knock that.
Now you need Fields. You need Caleb Williams to be good.
Oh yeah,
Of course.
that's
I personally think he's going to be fucking amazing.
yeah.
But it's contingent on that. But yeah, I mean, you have to. This is you
Correct.
do the research. I don't know if extending DJ Moore means you're going for it, but trading for whoever, what's his name,
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen is
Yeah.
going for it. I also think this affects Keenan Allen getting a contract, though. I think that
I agree.
they can't pay 3 wide receivers piss money. And that's what happens. But yeah, I certainly think the Bears think they have a window to win right now. I'm with you.
So, in other wide receiver news, Jamar Chase is holding out of training camp now. Wants to get a new contract done. I think this is Zolo's famous quote. These things usually work themselves out. I think there's no possible way this one doesn't.
This gets done. There's no bad blood. He's holding in. He's there.
Right.
As soon as the pads came on, he just stopped practicing. He's there. He's going through the walkthroughs. He's just not doing anything to affect him getting paid, and that's fine. And I think they're going to pay him.
As is Tristan Wirfs, the best offensive lineman that the Buccaneers have
Yeah.
to protect Baker Mayfield. I think that's another one. He's been there a long time. That has to
It'll
fix
get done.
itself.
It'll get done.
Everybody forgets he was a rookie when fucking Brady was there. He's a young guy, deserves the money. Top notch.
Sticking with wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb. That's another one. And now, this is where it kind of gets interesting. If you're the Cowboys and you've got to pay Dak, and you've got to pay CeeDee Lamb,
And Micah Parsons.
and Micah Parsons,
Parsons is next year.
where does this leave them? I mean,
I don't know.
towards the end of that Rams, and I guess we're not at the end, but when they had Aaron Donald, Stafford, and Cooper Kupp taking up 1/3 of their salary cap,
Jalen Ramsey and
I mean, you had a mess.
Von Miller.
You had no depth. You had no depth. You had a mess on your hands. You couldn't get anybody
Look what
serviceable.
That's why I think McVay's actually done a pretty good job
Of
what he's
revamping
done
it.
over there.
I agree.
Because he's reloaded with guys that nobody knows.
They draft well. They've always drafted well.
But he drafted
The
Got
other
the
end
demo.
of that stick is the Cowboys don't.
no,
Right?
that's
We
the
all
problem.
kind of agree that the Cowboys.
They'll take top guys, but it's just like that. Just don't. I mean, outside DeMarcus Ware, and who really flourished in this system with these guys. I mean, it's. I don't know. Just to me, it doesn't seem like they get developed. They don't play well as a team.
You missed it last week, but we had this conversation that in the Niners, obviously, Brandon Ayuk is a hold-in. He's there. There's
Yeah.
a video of him dapping up John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan today. So people think things are trending in the right direction. But the Niners have to deal with Purdy's extension. Trent Williams is holding out now, and Ayuk, on top of already paying who they're currently playing, which is they had a Debo issue a couple years ago. They're paying him now. They're going to have to
McCaffrey.
play Fred Warner. They just gave McCaffrey a raise.
Highest paid running back in the league.
So they're going to have all these issues, and then same with the Cowboys. I mean, something's got to give. I don't think they're going to lose all of these guys, but they're going to probably overpay for 3 out of the 3, right? Maybe
Oh, yeah,
maybe
100%.
CD gets the bargain. If he comes in, he'll set the market, and then you're hoping next year it's a bargain. But something's got to give at some point. And those two teams, those two NFC teams, because they didn't get the job done a while back, now have to deal with the market rates for those guys that deserve market rates. CeeDee Lamb's a top 5 receiver.
Correct.
Micah Parsons, in my opinion, I'm taking him over TJ Watt. I think he's the best edge rusher in football. And then Dak, whatever you want to say about him, like quarterbacks,
$60 million.
they control everything. So quarterbacks are going to get paid no matter what. Jordan Love played a season and got what he got. So
Think about the
it's a mess.
bargain. Dak Prescott right now is a $29 million a year annually guy on the last contract. That's
bargain.
dirt right now. That's dirt. So
He's going to command at least 55 to 60.
out of all these names
58.
that we just talked about, who do you think ends up elsewhere, if anybody?
None of them.
You think Ayuk stays?
Yep.
I think Ayuk's there this year, and then we'll see next year. But I think he's there. There's team control. They have no reason to relinquish the control. They're not going to. This is their year to win a Super Bowl. This is the year.
And there's no chance CeeDee Lamb
It's
doesn't.
boom or bust for them. I believe if they don't make it to the Super Bowl this year and actually win it, they're done.
No.
That's just my opinion.
CeeDee Lamb's not going to, and neither is Micah Parsons.
You
Those
can
are
tell
those are
Dark
pillars.
Lumen that. They don't make it to the Super Bowl this year, they're done. Put a fork in them.
Lumen's not in the chat.
There's one other name that I wanted to talk about. Matthew Judon of the New England Patriots. The rumors are absolutely swirling right now that he could be traded before the weekend. And the most likely suitors now with a season-ending injury to John Kaminsky. The most likely suitors are none other than our very own Detroit Lions.
Well, they're really underplaying this.
What do you mean?
They're not really even talking about it. They're all happy with what they got right
Hold on, you mean the Lions aren't talking about?
Yeah.
Because I think Judon's gone.
I think he's
I
gone.
think Judon's gone. The Lions, this has been going on for 3 years. They're linked to everyone because they have the most cap space. Patriots, the team that he's trying to get a new deal with, have the most cap space. The team with the second most cap space at the moment is the Detroit Lions. That's why people want it.
So they signed.
No, they have the second most cap space currently for this season. Perfect fit. It'd be incredible. Would love it. It's not going to happen here. I do think he gets traded though. He's fighting.
You
he's
don't
fighting
think it
everywhere.
happens here?
They're not gonna. I think they like what they have. I think things have been so well with Marcus Davenport off the rip. I think things have been so well. We'll get to. I want a D-line talk. I have D-line talk built in here at the bottom. Things have gone so well with the D-line thus far that I just don't see it happening. But yeah, I mean, I would do that. I would trade whoever they want. You want Pascal? You want a third? You want James Houston? You want those guys? And then a pick for Judon? I'm sold. Done. Would do it.
In your D-line talk, because I'm not seeing this fast enough. Do you have the Patriots signing from today in there?
No. It's Lions D-line talk, so no, I don't.
Got it. Patriots signed a defensive tackle today.
Well, Christian Barrymore is now out with blood clots, and it's indefinite, so they need a defensive tackle. Who'd they sign?
They re-signed and gave an extension to Davon Goodshow.
Oh, yeah, I have that in here at the top.
Okay.
I have that in here at the top.
Don't know how I missed that one. 2 years, $21 million. So as soon as that went out, that's when this Judon thing really picked up steam because, like we said, they have the most cap space out of everybody. Why not?
Right.
You want to know what popped into my head though? Because if you go through here, they already have him in the Lions jersey on Twitter.
I saw that.
Okay. So you know what kept going through my head here? Trey Flowers.
No,
Judon's a lot
different.
more effective than Trey Flowers.
Different.
ever.
Di-
They're not the
different,
same
different.
guy.
And he'll have a role here. Whereas Trey Flowers was brought in and it's like, oh, we got this
To be
free
the
agent
guy.
that's gonna take over on the D line.
He was making J.J. Watt money here.
Exactly.
Come on.
Exactly. This is different. And another reason why I don't think he ends up here is because the guys that end up here are there's a blueprint for Lions players. And it's a fit, it's a character fit, it's a locker room fit, it's a play style fit, it's a work ethic fit. He's got to check off a lot of boxes to see if the juice is worth the squeeze. And then on top of that, you have a GM that's very stingy with draft capital. Maybe if this drags out, I could see it. If it drags out into the season, I think this gets solved from the Patriots' point of view sooner rather than later.
You don't think he's a Campbell guy?
I don't care. He's a good player. I want him here.
Yeah, but that's
No, I don't think any Patriots player is a Campbell guy. I don't think anyone that's from that organization is a Campbell.
he was a Ravens guy too. That I think I like it. I think it. You know what? That's the one rumor that I'm really.
I don't like
kind
it.
of-
I fucking love it.
I know.
I love it going back to last year. We were talking about this as well. I just don't know. I don't. It's not their MO to
he
do
can
this.
be dominant.
And they like what they have at D-line right now, like Uncle Sam said. They love what they have going right now.
Listen, they got a guy that they drafted for the first year they were here, and he hasn't worked out.
You talking about Levi Onwuzurike?
Yes.
See,
And
I
they-
have this all built in
They've
later.
been
I want to
talking
do this.
about
I want to do
How
this.
he's
I want to do this. I want a whole conversation on Onwuzurike.
okay.
All right. Do we want to go there now and then jump back, or?
You know, we can get through. We can skip camp dispatches. Let's get out of that. Nothing important in there. Do the injuries.
Okay. Injuries so far. Jonah Jackson was seen in a sling today. The Rams' big money offensive line signing away from here.
Oops.
Christian Barrymore, blood clots. We just
That
mentioned
sucks because he just re-signed this year. Too.
Yeah, that's a big hit for them.
He's a good player. I really like him.
Nick Bolton had an arm injury, was carted off today.
That's not good.
That's not good. Rashad Penny has retired.
This guy just could not have stayed healthy the last few years. He just could not even get on the field.
I mean, there was that 1 year where he was just
Couldn't get on
so
the field.
good, and then after that, it was
Couldn't get on the field, man. He couldn't stay healthy.
yeah. I know.
Playing in that Seahawks system will do you in.
That one sucks. And then Gary and Conley also retired. And some other news.
Okay.
Dude, go from here down, and then we'll get into the Lions. We'll clear that quick, and then we'll do some Lions talk.
Okay. So I actually read this yesterday as well. Mike Evans was highly considering the Chiefs or the Texans before agreeing to his extension with Tampa Bay. Now, could you imagine what that Chiefs team would have looked? This Chiefs team would have looked like if they added Mike Evans, or if Mike. What do we like better? Mike Evans ending up in Houston, or Stephon Diggs ending up in Houston?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans and Houston.
My God, that would have been.
Them young kids they got there now.
You can't cover Mike Evans and Nico Collins. You can't cover both of them.
No, and then
They're
you
the
have
same player.
Tank Bell.
Tank Dell
Those are
whipping
different
around.
guys. Those are different
yeah.
guys. But just to cover these two dudes, 6'3" speedsters that just run post routes, you don't have. There's no team that has two corners that can keep up with that.
Yeah.
And then you throw in Tank Dell, and you throw in Dalton Schultz, and you throw in everyone else. Then it
All
gets
that.
tricky.
I mean, because you want to know what's kind of weird about the Texans thing? They got Stephon Diggs, but I don't think that really moved the needle all that much for them.
No.
At this point in Diggs' career, personally. No. I mean, yeah, it's a great ad, and yes, he will be effective, but I don't think that like.
What I like about Diggs being there is you got a three-headed monster over there. So good luck trying to
Imagine if
to
that
game
was Mike
plan
Evans.
that secondary.
If Mike Evans was there instead of Stephon Diggs, they are in the conversation to win the AFC off the rip.
I agree.
Because I agree, you can't. That's unstoppable. Diggs showed last year. Granted, there wasn't all that much around him. As wide receivers go.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think Kansas City is going to be more dangerous this year than they were last year.
Offensively, I agree with
Offensively.
you. I agree with you 100%.
Why?
I think they graduated from what was young last year. So all
And
of
then
those
you're
guys
getting
took a leap.
you're getting a year to
Xavier Worthy.
Kelsey will finally be healthy and
There was videos circulating on Twitter all day today of Xavier Worthy getting absolutely destroyed at camp today. Just getting thrown around like a rag doll.
For every one
the guy
of those,
only weighs 150 fucking pounds.
For every one of those, I see a 70-yard deep ball or a 60-yard deep
Exactly.
ball every day.
Because nobody can stay with him.
Now it's camp, and he's going against his team's twos. So I don't love to read too much into camp videos because you don't really
Right.
know until the first week of
agree.
the regular season. But you can't deny his speed. So
Right.
I think they're going to be decent.
Well, yeah, Trent McDuffie came out today after camp and said that Xavier Worthy was probably the fastest guy he's ever seen on the field.
What does that tell you?
Yeah. And that's
What
true.
does that tell you?
Correct. Where here we go. Kickoff rules. You want to
Yeah, I can do it.
go ahead?
There's some amendments to the new kickoff rule, which they obviously adopted that UFL, US, whatever the hell it is, wherever they got the rule from, the USFL kickoff rule. So obviously teams, where do they kick off from? The 35 or the 4? It's like, I don't know. They kick off shallow, and the teams line up 5 yards away from each other on the 20 or the 25, and they can't go until the running back or the receiver catches the ball. You know all that. We're going to have Mike Pereira on again at some point explaining all that. But there's some amendments to the kickoff rule as well. We knew some of this before, but they came out with clarification today. The onside kick is now illegal before the fourth quarter. You cannot onside kick the ball before the fourth quarter. And if you do onside kick, you have to tell the official that you're doing it, because you would line up in the old traditional formation at midfield if you're onside kicking it. And you cannot onside kick unless your team is losing. So there's criteria for an onside kick. Of course, the main thing to come out of this is you can no longer do the surprise onside kick.
I think that's stupid.
It kind of sucks that you can't do the surprise onside kick
stupid.
anymore. But it's because of the way they line up. You have to line up
Forget it.
differently.
You know what they need to do? Push it back to where it used to be, and forget about it.
I like this new rule because it's gonna lead to play. It's gonna lead to playmaking. It's gonna lead to kickoff returns. It did in the UFL, so I think that's gonna happen.
Hopefully it works out.
But if it's at the expense of the surprise onside kick, which we've seen some great ones over the years. The first one that comes to mind is the Saints at the second half of the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
Sean, whatever.
Payton.
The ball's kicked from the 35.
Balls kicked from the 35.
So-
and where are the players though? The players are at the 20, or the players are at the 20?
40.
Players at the 40.
Yep.
So you're down
Okay.
by a touchdown going into half. You want to kick an onside to get the ball back to score again, and you can't.
No, you can't.
That's.
But that never happened anyway.
I know, but it's still
Well,
like the
I mean-
chance that it could happen.
Look at Sean
Now-
Payton, what he did to the Colts. He kicked it off from the fucking onside of it, took the ball.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. It's a trade-off. The surprise onside kick is cool, but it was rare. It almost never happened. I think the last time I remember it happening was when Dan Campbell did it in LA his first year.
Yep.
It doesn't always happen. It's a great play, but it's at the expense of this new rule should lead
Right.
to more kickoff returns anyways. So if you have the right personnel in, and I love what the Lions do in terms of special teams, they have one of the best in the business in Dave Phipp.
What eliminated the kickoff being returned is them moving it up to the 35-yard line.
Didn't help.
That was bullshit. They should have left it where it was. They should never fucked with it from the beginning. That's the problem.
It's going to be interesting to see how,
Broke, don't fix it.
because I mean there's some little things in here that's like the kicker cannot cross the 50-yard line until the ball touches the ground or a player in the landing or end zone. So that kicker with all that momentum's got to put the brakes on after he kicks the ball.
Not necessarily.
He can
Not a
follow
lot of them ain't
through, he
fast
just
anyway.
can't.
If it leads to kickoff returns, like if it leads to touchdowns, I'm cool with the rules. That's the trade-off. I will miss the surprise onside kick. At least there still is onside kicks, you know?
True.
So it's just there's just criteria with it now.
The 10 kicking team players cannot move until the ball hits the ground or player in the landing or end zone.
And that's on both sides.
Correct.
They can't no one can move until the guy fields the ball. And they're staring at each other 5 yards apart too, which I fucking love. There's going to be so much shit talking while that's
Kickoff.
going on.
Isn't
Oh, yeah.
about touchdowns though.
But that
It's about where you're gonna start the drive.
No, but it could lead. It change if you have a good kicker. If you have Devin Hester, it is about touchdowns. It's
Yeah,
about
then
trying
the
to
offense
prevent
will
them.
never touch the fucking field.
That's okay. You get the points out of it because the point of the offense is to score points.
Right.
So you're not wrong. Like like in certain games, it's a chess match and it's about the field
Listen,
position
at this
battle.
point, you might as well just get rid of it.
The kickoff,
Yeah.
but they're trying to make the kickoff exciting
No.
again.
Fuck getting rid of it.
They're trying to make. They're trying to
That's how you kick the
kickstart it.
balls on fucking kickoff, field goals, and punts. Give me a break. Why call it football?
I'm
then?
with you. Don't get rid of it.
Why?
You need it.
And also, a penalty does not change any of the zones. The ball just moves up or back. Everybody stays in the same spot.
Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Interesting.
And
What
also, if
happened?
the wind blows the ball off the tee more than twice,
They're allowed to bring a player on the field to hold it. I did see that.
Oh, so
that's
there
kinda
could be
cool.
12. So there could be 12
Yeah,
guys.
but they're not allowed to be.
high school.
They're not allowed to be active in the play.
Correct. They can
Yeah.
just come out there and hold it.
Yeah,
They just
do
come out there
do
and
they have to
hold
walk
you
off
off
the
fucking-
field afterward?
I
There's
guess so,
time, so
yeah.
they probably have to get
Yeah.
off the field afterward.
Wow.
Interesting.
Interesting.
See what
What about this Sony partnership with the NFL?
Yeah, I'm into that. I haven't understood this for years. How they just determine wherever they want to mark the ball. And another one is like when someone punts a ball out of bounds, how they determine. You ever notice like it seems straightforward. They're like, well, this is where the ball went out, and they'll be like, wait, the ball went out here. Why is the ref placing it here or here?
Yeah.
So especially in that, but with the yard markers, like I've never understood the point of the sticks because like you didn't see where the running back went down with the ball. You didn't
Right.
see that, so like I don't like it's totally subjective. You could be placing the ball wherever you
They're
want.
just putting more technology into the fucking game.
That's good.
Taking,
It shortens everything.
taking the refs out of the game.
Hell yeah. I'm so for that. You have no idea. When it comes to this stuff, it's going to speed the game up. You're going to get proper spots. There's not going to be bullshit. You're going to get instant calls instead of waiting and challenging the spot.
Yeah.
This is good. I think it's beneficial.
So no more chain gang?
The goal is to transition away from the chain game.
Wow.
Same with drive-throughs and every other job, and
What?
Bruce, you should run for president one day.
Yeah, right now.
There's still going to be guys holding the sticks. They're still going to be there holding the sticks. They're just not going to call them out. Like, you ever see them run out? They're not
you're
running in a
talking-
straight
okay.
line. They're not
Yeah.
running perfectly.
They're just fucking.
They're just eyeing it. It's like, well, I
Yeah.
think we were there, and we're gonna put this stick here, and then
Okay, fair
look,
enough.
you got it by a note. Like it's all subjective. It's bullshit, and it's not accurate.
well, you
That
just
will be-
changed my mind with that, with my whole spiel.
Oh, you gave up on it that easy?
Well, I thought it meant like the whole chain, like the guys aren't going to be on the
Oh,
sidelines
because you still
anymore.
have
need
to.
an idea. The running backs need an
The guys
idea
need
of where to
vision
run
of it.
to. You know,
The players need
It's almost
vision of it
20,
too.
25,
You know-
man. I'm
you know
surprised
what?
It's not robots out there doing it themselves. All right.
I think you just said this, but it will be when we have Mike Pereira back on. It will be awesome to talk to him about a
Yeah.
few of these
we
things.
got to get his take.
100%. And another piece of news regarding the Patriots: Bill Belichick never reached out to new head coach Gerard Mayo. Never.
So what?
You don't think that's interesting?
No.
Someone brought up a good point that there was a theory that he didn't reach out because it was going on behind his back. They were crowning this guy before they even moved on from Belichick, and that makes sense. I think it's a little interesting, but I also think it makes sense. And I think down the road, there's no hard feelings.
I don't think Belichick is a fuck at this point.
No, I don't either.
I would love to be him.
Well, yeah, I would love to be him too because it seems like he has jobs galore at the moment.
Yeah.
Everybody wants a piece.
I don't
of
think
him.
there's anybody that's out there that's being sought at more than him, I would say.
He's going to be
I
on.
get it that he didn't get a job and shit right afterwards, but
He's got it so
why
much
do you
better.
have people that
You know
want
what?
what
Can I point something out? Do you think that was kind of on his own doing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because you have a list here of all of the things that he's a part of now, and that's the Manning Cast, Inside the NFL, Pat McAfee, and Underdog Fantasy. Why deal with the bullshit of actually coaching when you can
Sit and
be
talk.
everywhere at once just to sit and bullshit?
Yeah.
Pereira.
Someone needs to pay him to get him on TV though on Sundays. And I think that'll happen at some point. But this guy could be a game
it's gonna be
changer
McAfee.
on Sundays.
It'll be
No,
McAfee.
on Sundays.
Oh, as far as
calling
a
games,
analyst,
calling games.
it's coming.
Yeah, not in a. I don't want to see him on a show or in a studio. I want to see him
In a booth.
in the booth
Yeah.
as a color guy.
If he wants to do it, you know. He's got his own shit going on now, so
I think he still. We talked about this, but I think he still wants to break Shula's record. Was it Shula? Shula's record. I think he wants to break the wins record. Who has the record?
I thought he broke it already.
No, he's 18 or 20 wins away. I think he's going to take over someone to do that.
I believe it is Shula, and he's very close.
Yeah,
Doesn't
he's within
matter.
20
I mean,
games.
he's won more Super Bowls than Shula ever did.
I know, but Shula shit talked them at some point.
He's 26 behind Shula,
Okay.
and he is 16 behind George Hallis.
George
he's
Halas
third.
Doesn't fucking count. Fuck
Yeah,
the Bears.
19, 20 for the Decatur Staleys,
Decatur.
whatever. Okay. Would you like to talk some Lions and then jump into the Hall of Fame game?
Sure.
All right, go ahead. Start us off.
Uncle Sam, what do you think of the Decker extension? 3 years, 60
Oh, I
million.
thought it was great. I thought it was great they found enough money. Where else are they going to get a better left tackle than him right now?
Do you think
If he
we see them
decided to move
switch?
on.
Do you think we see them switch during this?
No.
No.
He stays at left tackle for the extension that he's here. Hopefully he plays the 3 years out. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully he stays healthy. He's
Yeah.
battled some stuff, and
Yeah.
I think he's the healthiest he's.
I
been in
think it
long
was a
time
great.
right now.
I think it was a great thing that they are taking care of the guys that are here.
I love it,
Listen, he's the last guy of the old regime, dude.
and he's also a big hit
Yeah.
in the locker room. He's huge in the locker.
I loved his conversation. I listened to his interview with Dan with the guys in the morning show this morning, and he talked about it and about agents going back and forth and this and that. And he's like, "Fuck that! I'm going right to the source."
He went to
He didn't
Campbell.
want to talk to anybody. He went, right to Dan.
He went to Dan Campbell, which
and
is
said,
great.
"You tell me what we're doing here, what you want here." And Campbell gave him the blunt, honest truth that he is, and he told his agents, "That's it, sign it."
Yeah, it's test the organization. And then what's been great to come out of all this, both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell instantly have both acknowledged that Aleem McNeil is on deck. They're
Yeah.
working on it. Aleem has said, he's a cool dude. So
He's not even worried about
He's
it.
not worried. I'm letting my agents handle it so I can focus on camp, and I think that's music to my ears. My guess is that gets done. If I had to guess, that gets done before
The
September.
biggest surprise to me is this. When these contracts come up for extensions and this and that, and it's always agents talking to agents, teams talking to agents. You don't hear of guys going to the fucking coach and asking him straight out, "Do you want me here or not?"
That's the culture here now, though.
That's the culture here now. And I think this is the reason for their success is because you have a coach that I get it. He's a little rough around the edges, but you know what? At least he's fucking honest, and at least he won't sugarcoat anything. And he's going to tell you how it is. And what he said back in before the draft and stuff about not falling in love with your own players, you got to be smart about things. I agree with that. And he thinks their best way of winning right now is to keep that offensive line together, and that tells you something.
Continuity. Continuity
Yes.
has always been key.
It means everything.
And more than anything, something that I love, piggybacking off of what you just said, something that I love with the open door policy is, scratch that. Something that I love about Holmes and Campbell, especially Brad Holmes, is they always have a plan. There's always a plan. They're always thinking 10 steps ahead. They're always thinking towards the future. That's why they do and don't do certain things. And I think this was part of the plan. I think they factored in this Decker thing, and I think they have a plan for Aleem McNeil that's going to make sense. I think it's all there right in front of us, and it's obvious. And I'm curious. I'm curious.
They're
to see how
doing
this
it the
plays out.
right way because not only do you have to get a Liam McNeil signed, you're going to have to pay other guys too within the next couple of years.
You move on to the big ones after that.
You
move on to
got
Hutchinson,
to find out
you know?
which guys are your keys and which guys can be replaced. This is what the smart GM would do.
And if Jamison Williams has the year they're anticipating him having, like he's on that. There's a list of guys
Correct.
that you have to take care of next year. So.
Correct.
We lost the kicker. Badgley out for the year with a hamstring injury. And I know we talked about Jake Bates a little bit already. Do we think it's his? Is it going to be his rodeo or?
Right now, I think it's going to be his rodeo. Right now, gun to my head. Of course, something that they've always done is they've always had a kicker competition.
I wouldn't
camp.
be surprised if they bring somebody in.
They're going to sign someone. They have to, because you can't just let a kicker who's never kicked in the NFL before. You can't just let him go. You have to have some sort of competition. I had it in here. Riley Patterson was released by Jacksonville yesterday. He's already been claimed by the Commanders. He would have made the most sense. But James Turner from Michigan, who had an excellent rookie camp and an excellent OTAs, they ended up releasing him, and he signed with the Packers. The Packers have released him. So my guess is James Turner is who they bring back to push Bates. But Bates has been good. From what I understand, he's only had one bad day on the week. And the day this happened with Badgley, he kicks Bates was 6 for 6 from 55 plus. And he's only had one bad day, so he's been relatively good. We have to see it on the field, but we've seen a lot of shit with Jake Bates, even if it's not an NFL body of work.
Right.
Preseason's going to be big for him. I still think they bring a kicker in to push him, but I do think it's his job to lose. I think this is Jake Bates' job.
How about our two new corners that revamped that secondary?
Yeah, Uncle Sam, you'll love this. Rakestraw wasn't getting a lot of play at all. And then as soon as they put the pads on Monday, boom, instantly. He's considered the most physical guy in the field. His presence is felt, and he's breaking up passes. He looks really good. And on top of that, Terrion Arnold's been holding his own as CB2. As he's going against the ones. He's going against St. Brown. He's going against Jamison Williams.
That's going to do nothing but help him.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
That will help him so much going up against a guy like St. Brown.
And J-Mo had a great comment on Terrion Arnold. He's like, at Alabama, he was my little brother, and it's good because we go against each other and we get better every day. And he goes, now he's not my little brother. He's a grown man now.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah, and he had the first interception for Lions in camp and the first forced fumble.
You're about TA or Rakestraw?
Rakestraw.
Rakestraw.
We have a little wide receiver war going on.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest question marks on the team, in my opinion, is like the bottom end of the wide receiver room, mainly wide receiver 3. But the bottom end is interesting. I don't know anything about this guy, but Doris Fountain has stood out and is probably going to burst some bubbles, whether it's Tom Kennedy's or Antoine Green's, maybe even Donovan Peoples-Jones. They're really high on this Doris Fountain guy, and he's 6'2". He's 6'2", which I fucking love. Do you have him up right now?
I have the depth chart up right.
Can you look up Fountain for me and tell me where he went to college? Tell me
Doris Fountain, he's 28.
Yeah.
He is he went to Iowa. Northern Iowa, excuse me. He is 6'2", 210.
Sign me up.
6'2", 210. He has been with Indianapolis, Kansas City, and Chicago before this stint with the Lions. So you said odd guy out could be Tom Kennedy. Which Tom Kennedy pretty much every year is the odd guy out.
Yeah, he's practice squad for life.
Practice squad for life. Donovan, do you think Donovan Peoples-Jones makes the team?
Maybe not.
And what about Antoine Green?
Maybe not. We'll get a really good another guy whose name I keep hearing a lot of is Hendon Hooker. And we'll get Hendon Hooker's going to start every second in the preseason. We'll get a really good glimpse of what they're thinking outside of J-Mo and outside of St. Brown.
They're thinking of bringing somebody else in too.
You mean at wide receiver?
No, a quarterback.
I don't think they're thinking of bringing
Backup.
anyone else in.
They got Nate Sudfeld.
They have Sudfeld and
He's hurt. He's on the pup list.
It's Hooker. Everyone I'm seeing. So Hooker had bad OTAs. Supposedly he had a jammed finger, and that's why his ball was off. And they've spent every moment with him since he's been injured. I heard this on a podcast, the One of These Days podcast with Nick Baumgardner and Colton Pouncey. Shout out to those guys. They go, to run Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell's offense, you need to have a certain level of footwork from every position. But at quarterback, you need to have a certain level of footwork. And they've spent the last year working on his footwork ever since he's not been injured. And his footwork is down, and supposedly he's looked like a fucking monster in camp. With the twos, it's been with the twos, but I think we'll get a really good idea of what wide receiver is going to look like with the room outside of the first two guys, how Donovan Peoples-Jones is faring, this Fountain guy. Who did you say?
Khalif Raymond.
Khalif Raymond's going to be, of course.
That's my dog.
We'll get a really good sense of all that. It's making me excited because Hooker's going to play almost every snap. So I'm excited to see how that pans out.
He needs to work because he's never played.
100%. He's got no body of work.
I don't have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And if they don't think they have the right guy, they need to get somebody else in here to back up.
Agreed.
I just wanted one piece of backup quarterback news that we missed. The Broncos have moved Zach Wilson down to 3rd on the depth chart underneath Jarrett Stidham. Stidham took the second string snaps today, and Zach Wilson did not participate with the 3rd team.
Yesterday was the first time I've read Bo Nix's name through camp.
Bo Nix is going with the ones.
And he's going with the ones. Good for him.
And Sean Payton ain't fucking around, dude.
No.
He ain't fucking around. He's brought a new... I'm telling you, he's brought a new
He can't
concept
fuck around. After last year, he can't fuck around.
Well, he's brought a new content. They're an attacking team now where they weren't last year.
Now we can talk about the Lions D-line a little bit because I know you guys want to. Obviously, Kaminsky's done for the year.
Go on, stop. I think Kaminsky was going to get cut before this.
Really?
I do.
Why?
He's a specialist. He's that third down guy that Uncle Sam loves, where you come in and you could play all 4 positions on the D line, and he had a role, like that was his role. He didn't do it well towards the back end of the season last year, and now there's 2 guys that can do that have looked better, and that they're homegrown guys, and that they appreciate more. I think that he would have been either the last D lineman in or cut. And in a way, this is a godsend for Uncle Sam's boy, Matthew Betts, who has not looked good and who is almost a certainty to get cut at this point. But now Matthew Betts, Campbell had a great comment on him. He goes, we complicated things for Betts when he came in, so he struggled in OTAs, but we've taken all those restrictions off, and we're trying to simplify things. And ever since they've done that, Betts has looked a lot better. And I think Kaminsky's bubble bursting is very good news for Betts. I think Betts ends up being the last lineman in.
And I know you guys wanted to touch on Levi Onwuzurike.
Please. I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I just heard he's been blowing it up in camp. It's about time. He's healthy, and it's the first time he's been able to do it. He had back issues. That's not easy to come back from. Guys retire with that kind of fucking injury.
Do you guys remember how good Onwuzurike
As
and
rookie.
Aleem were good the back
rookie.
half of the season as rookies?
Yes.
They were both really good.
Yeah, and Onwuzurike had a lot of sacks in that
Yep.
last
Monster.
3 or 4 games that they were in.
And he's that guy. He's the the Kaminsky.
Yeah.
He's the hybrid DT DN. He can rush. He could stop the run, and he was a second rounder. He's no scrub.
Yeah.
They didn't reach for him, anything like that. And obviously, had the back injury that derailed him, almost ended his career. He finally came back last year, and I think last year was about working him in slowly when he did finally come back. Those beat writers I mentioned earlier from The Athletic, and then all of the Lions beat writers in general, have made this really interesting yet extremely accurate observation. When Campbell and the rest of the staff and Holmes talk about a guy in a positive light, usually good things follow afterward. And no one, from Kelvin Shepard, the linebackers coach over the summer, to Campbell right now, to Holmes, to the new D-line coach, no one has shut the fuck up about Levi Onwuzurike, to the point where people have forgot that Reeder hasn't even slotted in yet in pads.
He's just trying to get into shape.
Because Onwuzurike has been such a wrecker so far. So that is huge news. Absolutely huge news. Another guy that went
But the
from,
best thing, don't worry about it, because they're throwing shit at him that he's never done before.
You're
He's
about
a natural
Onwuzurike you're
passer.
talking about?
No, I'm talking about Betts.
Oh, Betts.
Don't worry about him, because I've seen him. I've seen enough film on him. He's a natural pass rusher. So as a third down guy, you bring him in, and it's automatic pressure. So don't write him off because he's had a bad camp. They got him doing shit he's never done before,
The
dropping
Lions are
back
a
into
system
coverages.
Team. They're a system
Correct.
team. They didn't
Correct.
sign Betts for this year.
No.
It's a long play. This year's just the start.
Right.
And whatever, he doesn't make the roster. I think he does make the roster. If he
I
doesn't,
do
you
too.
put him on the practice squad. He marinates a little bit, and then you don't have to worry about when Marcus Davenport leaves.
I think
you don't have to worry about.
I think he'll play more than you think.
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
The DJ Reader thing, is he going to be ready for the start of the year?
you're saying yes.
It's going to be tricky, but he should. He should. He's got a month, right? He's got 6 weeks, we'll call it. So it's strength building, from what I understand. Quad injuries aren't easy. They're
No.
6 months injuries, and his happened in December. So he's right in the right time frame. I have to read in a little bit more to it. No
He's
pun
just working
intended.
out, trying to get his strength.
Trying to get
back.
his strength
That's what
back.
it is.
He's
That's
trying to get his
what's
strength
bad.
It's not like he doesn't need the reps, right?
He's a big dude.
He doesn't need
He's
the reps.
strong as fuck.
He's been on multiple very good defenses.
Right.
Like, I'm not worried. And he's at peace. He's just going to slot in when the time comes.
Right.
And he's not going to be overloaded with reps like there's Onwuzurike. Like, there's guys that have come in. So I'm not worried about this. Even if he's not ready week 1, like, this is a guy that's going to come in and make an impact when he finally does. I do think he's going to be ready week 1, though.
And we talked about J-Mo going up against some of the rookies in camp. But Hutchinson going up against Penei Sewell and Laporta on Jack Campbell, There's been a lot of noise coming out about a lot of these guys going up against each other so far.
They say one of the coolest things to watch at the moment is the Hutchinson and Sewell reps because they go back and forth. Sewell will destroy Hutchinson once, and then Hutchinson will come back a play later and destroy Sewell. And they don't like fight.
I don't think that Hutchinson could ever destroy Sewell.
Okay, well he's doing it in camp, and I
in
was
a
waiting
li-
for you to
in a
fucking
li-
say that.
Hold on. In a live game, there's no fucking chance.
These are live games for these guys.
It
These
ain't,
are-
dude. It's
these
practice, dude.
No, it's not. It's not because this is how they get better.
Practice,
This is they'll be the first ones to
Oh,
tell
I
you.
agree.
They're going full go, you guys, and that's what
Yeah.
makes
Anybody else, if his name wasn't Hutchinson, he'd be
exactly. I was waiting for that.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
What was that?
But everyone says that this is the coolest
What did
thing
you
to
say?
watch in practice.
Hold on. What was that?
I said, if his name wasn't Hutchinson, you'd be agreeing with him right now. But for some reason, you just have this profound hatred for Aiden Hutchinson.
I don't hate the guy at all. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All I'm saying is this. Sewell is the best fucking right tackle in football, period. It's
Best
bar none.
left tackle too. If he played left tackle,
well,
he'd be the best.
At right tackle, he's the best tackle in football, period.
Absolutely.
Period. And there's no way a guy that Hutchinson I would say, okay, you want to put him against Mecca Parsons? Then I would say, okay. If I heard Mecca Parsons was going toe-to-toe with him, I would say, okay. I don't believe the Hutchinson thing.
Okay, well, I'm just going by what the coaches.
practice.
I'm just going by what the coaches, the beat writers, and then the two players themselves have said. But I know where you're coming from, and I know
Right.
that Sewell's very good. But I'm just telling you that Sewell and Hutchinson, they love each other.
Yeah.
They love fucking killing each other too because they know
They like to
that
work each other
Iron
out. I get
sharpens
it.
iron.
I get
Iron sharpens iron. One's the best
They need
at his
that.
position on his side of the field. The other's one of the best at his position in the game. And the fact that they get to go against each other in live reps, it only makes both of them better. And that's like I've heard. I'm going to camp on Monday the 12th, and I'm so excited
Okay.
to see that because that's like the one thing I'm going to key in on is if the
So this
ones
Monday coming, you're going?
next Monday.
Next Monday.
Next Monday. Not this upcoming Monday, the Monday after that. But all the camp battles, Laporta, him and Campbell live together. Him and Jack Campbell live together. And he goes, yeah, like, things are different now. Like, I was coming up the middle, and he fucking cracked me, and he blew me back 5 yards. And that wasn't happening last year with Jack Campbell. But you have to raise your game when the ones go against the ones.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much good coming out of it right now, which is outstanding.
Them going to school together, it's not like they don't know each other either.
No, they're very, very familiar.
Very familiar
Very,
with
very
each other.
The Hall of Fame game is tomorrow.
Okay.
Does anybody give a shit?
Nope.
No.
Tell us why.
Is anyone surprised that Caleb Williams will not play at all?
That surprises me.
Very surprised. You don't want to give him a series?
I'm shocked. I don't give a fuck that it is preseason.
Especially, you know what's going to piss me off is I'll bet Odunze is going to be in there, right? They say none of the starters are playing for both teams, which I don't fucking understand. Odunze needs live NFL reps, and if he's getting it, wouldn't you want those reps to come from Sewell if you're going to give him a series, or
Or from your
from
quarterback.
Caleb Williams
Yeah.
if you're going to give him a series or two?
I don't agree with it at all. At least give them a
A
series.
series, a series.
What are you just gonna announce them? You're not gonna play them the whole fucking preseason. We already know that. And you're gonna come into the first game. Who does Chicago play in their first game?
Give me 30 seconds. Hold on.
I don't get
Tell me it's the Jets
you got
or
a
somebody
rookie
like that.
quarterback like that.
Love to see that.
It's
The
weird.
Bears in their first game. I was very surprised at the fact they played Tennessee.
There you go.
Lucky that.
Now I will say this about Tennessee. I know that they probably will not win that game, but he's got to go up against a really good defense. And good luck. Good luck. Can't wait for the first time I see
You don't
Jeffrey Simmons ass rape him because it's coming.
you don't think that Caleb Williams plays one series in the preseason?
No.
That to me is hard to believe as a rookie coming.
I can't
Like
believe
the
he's not
CJ
playing. And, hey, easiest game to play in is the Hall of Fame game. It's first game of the year.
CJ Stroud not playing, I get.
I get that.
I get
I
that.
totally understand.
No
He's
Caleb
already
Williams?
proved what he is.
And you do think Odunze plays?
If Odunze plays and Caleb Williams doesn't, that's stupid.
Odd. I don't know why they're holding those guys out.
Do you
Give
think
those
that
guys
had anything to
reps.
do with Caleb Williams?
Maybe.
No. No, I think it's coach's decision.
Maybe none of the starters are playing. It seems like it's okay on the Houston end. I have no issues. They don't have any rookies.
Yeah, they're
Right?
established.
They don't have any
Yeah,
rookies who'd they draft? Oh, they don't even have a first round pick. There's no one on that end. So there's no one they need to break in. But Chicago, they have 2
They
rookies
got a
that are
lot of guys
key.
that break in on that team.
Yeah.
You got a lot of new guys on.
New guys, yeah.
That's what I don't understand.
Like, I can
get it,
understand-
you don't want to get them hurt in preseason. At least let them go out there for a series and let them show, let them see. If you see them taking a beating, you get them the fuck out of there. But to not let them play is stupid. I think that's stupid, especially quarterbacks, new quarterbacks.
Do we have a prediction for that game?
No.
Garbage.
Garbage poop.
No. I remember watching it last year and I was just pissed off. I'm like, this game used to be fun to watch. There'd be a quarter.
Not anymore.
There'd be like 2 or 3 series worth of plays.
Yeah, it's like football. Finally,
Yeah, now it's like
now it's just we get to
You're
watch.
gonna see- you're gonna
Olympics.
see a
Hey,
bunch of-
we get to
you're gonna
watch
see a
Titty
bunch of
Badgin.
guys playing.
Titty Badgin.
that
Titty
might not-
Badgin.
You're going to see a bunch of guys playing that won't even be on the fucking team by the time the season starts.
How many touchdown passes can we expect out of Titty Badgin tomorrow night?
4.
You're talking shit right now. He might tear it up.
4.
Should we toss a tit bet out there for Titty Badgin to throw
Yeah.
plus 2.5 touchdowns?
Over
Okay.
under 3.5.
Before we end today, we have to at least touch on this. The Summer Olympics are going on in Paris right now. The biggest piece of news that I myself have heard is that the river has shit in it and nobody can swim in it.
I have it in there. E. coli in the river.
Yeah, there's poop in the river.
They had years to prepare for this. Years. And supposedly they sank almost $2 billion into technology and chemicals to clean the river. And on top of that, the president, Macron, and then the mayor, I can't remember her name, were supposed to swim in the river. And then there was some coordinated operation from people who all live along the Seine to shit in the Seine the day that they were going to go in the river to up the E. coli levels. It's just sad to the point where the people in the triathlon they were exposing themselves to minimal amounts of E. coli. So when this day came around, they wouldn't get sick. And I think that's fucked up. But
There's poop in the river.
everything else seems cool. I mean, I've had
One
fun
of the
watching
oldest
a lot of
cities in
this.
the world, dude. What are you going to do?
That city's so disgusting.
Paris? Not a fan of Paris?
It's disgusting. It's cool. You got to see it, but it's absolutely filthy.
Do we have a medal count at the moment?
I think the U.S. is dominating the overall medal count, but they're not dominating the golds. I think it's like Japan, China, Korea, and the golds.
China has 9 golds. They have 19 total medals, 7 silver and 3 bronze. France is 8, 10, and 8 for a total of 26.
United States is 5 gold, right?
United States has 5 gold, 13 silver, and 12 bronze for a total of 30. So yes, overall, the United States does have the most medals, but
I watched it already earlier today, but Katie Ledecky, like we have some crazy fucking dominant people, like Simone Biles yesterday, incredible. Katie Ledecky did the 1500 free today, and she won. And she
I
won
give
like
a
10
shout out to
seconds.
Italy.
Which one? The
They
gymnastics?
They silver medaled in gymnastics.
First time since
First time
1900
since
or something.
1920 something.
1920, yeah.
21
Yep.
that they've medaled.
And then it went
and
viral today.
gymnastics.
One of their girls is sponsored by a Parmigiano Reggiano company, so there's pictures of her hugging like a wheel of cheese.
I thought it was so.
awesome.
You know what? And then Brazil.
They had medals.
Brazil fucking medaled in gymnastics. You're talking the top dogs are China and all these other fucking places, and now you got the Latin and the Italians and the United States winning medals. That's
Good for
unheard of.
Italy. Good
The
for
rugby team, that girl had a 75-yard touchdown or
Did you see that
80-yard
by any chance?
touchdown.
I did not.
to win the bronze medal.
So one of the most and we noticed this a couple years ago, but one of the most exciting things is rugby sevens, which is also becoming popular here. They call it rugby. It's not real rugby because they play with a couple less players. They play with 7 players,
Like 7 on
but it's so fun to watch. And our men and women are both good. The men didn't end up medaling, but the women were in the bronze medal match against Australia, who's a rugby
15
powerhouse.
Right.
seconds left to go.
And with 15 seconds left, they got the ball, and the girl fucking ran the field at the horn, and the U.S. women got a bronze, and it was so fun
over Australia.
over Australia.
Wow.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Who won the men's gold in rugby?
New Zealand, I think, always wins.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll have to fact check me on that, but I think it
New
was
Zealand and
or
Australia
South Africa.
are huge for.
New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Britain. Those are the big.
Those
four.
are the biggest ones for rugby.
Yeah.
Have you watched any boxing?
I have.
You have.
Anything
You
good?
want to know why? You want to know what's good about it? I'll tell you today. They stopped wearing headgear. It's like it was back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Back when Ali got the silver in Rome.
Oh, that was they didn't wear headgear after that. But you know, I just enjoyed it. I watched a young Mexican fighter pummel this kid from, I can't remember what it was, where he was from. He's from like not Morocco. It was Mozambique or some shit like that. There's so many countries I don't know what's what anymore.
Doesn't matter. Did the Mexican win?
Oh yeah. He's very. You see talent. The women boxing, they make them wear headgear, which I'm still trying to figure that one out. But you know, it's been competitive. It's kind of cool. You know,
It's all been good. I've been having fun.
I watched the archery one too.
Archery's great.
That was incredible.
Shooting.
The French girl beat the girl from China, and I mean they were hitting bullseyes at I don't know how many yards away it is.
And they make it look easy.
60 yards.
Yeah, it's like 50 meters, 60
Yeah,
meters,
it's
something like
fucking
that.
crazy,
It's really
dude.
crazy.
And they were hitting the thing the size of a $50.
Real quick, back to the Poop River. I guess about at some point during the triathlon, 3 of the people came out of the river, yacked, and then kept going.
Good.
That's ballsy.
Pooh River.
They all deserve a medal for that.
Yeah, exactly. To swim through the Pooh River.
One. Shawshank River.
Do we have anything else to add before we end today? We could touch on some more Olympic stuff next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Be good.
It'll pretty much be not rapping, but
It'll be close to wrapping.
yeah, it'll be
I
close.
was actually going to watch it this year, but then they had to have that devil worship.
Oh, relax. The athletes have nothing
Did
to
anybody
fucking do
watch
with
Gold
it.
Zone?
Ozone?
Gold
Oh,
Zone.
yeah. I watch it every
watch-
day. I watch it at work. I have it on at work, and I listen to it. He's been good. Siciliano goes on before him, too, which is also good.
Huh.
Shout out to our buddy.
Bruce, I have a question for you before we sign off. And this goes out to everyone because you're not alone in this. What does the planners of the opening ceremony have to do with the fucking athletes that we're watching?
Well, okay, I'll tell you. Those athletes are competing in that system. My eyes will not support that system.
What do you mean that system?
that
What's the
does-
system?
The Olympics.
The
Olympics.
the opening ceremony is put on by like theater companies.
It doesn't
They're
matter.
not put on by the Olympics.
doesn't matter.
The athletes
It's
that
all
are
one
walking
thing.
through have no fucking idea that people are going to be doing
I
satanic
get
shit.
that, but my eyes aren't going to be watching that.
And how does that how does that help?
I didn't watch.
What do you mean?
the ceremony.
No, I didn't watch the opening ceremony.
I can't make.
How does
a
it
call on
how does
that.
it help the athletes by not watching them because the opening ceremony had some satanic
What
thing?
is it like an artistic fucking?
They did the supposedly
Listen,
they did the
I've
Last
seen-
Supper in
hold on,
drag.
Hold on,
Last
hold on a
Supper.
minute. I've seen worse at Beyonce concerts. I've seen worse at other shit. What are we complaining about it for?
How does
It's just an
protesting-
artistic
How does
thing.
protesting the athletes that have worked their entire life to get there help that?
That doesn't help
How does
them.
it affect that?
They are still competing in the Olympics.
No, they're competing in the
part of the
Olympics.
Olympics.
You expect
They're
them
not
to do
competing
it?
in the French opening ceremony. They're
Yeah.
competing in the Olympics.
This is an anti-American.
The Olympics is like it's worldwide.
You got to be supporting the
Worldwide,
U.S.
dude.
You're not supporting that.
You know what?
very
I
well
remember one of the
supportive.
openings were in Greece. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah, Tiesto
I'm very
played it in.
well
You remember that?
It was
USA.
Tiesto
And what
did
was the one after
04.
that?
After that was Beijing, which had arguably it's the greatest,
Was that
craziest opening
That was
crazy or
ceremony
what?
wild.
ever.
I remember
Yeah,
that
with
one.
the fucking dragons.
London was
and the
outstanding.
fireworks.
London,
Yeah.
they faked the Queen helicoptering in. They brought in Daniel Craig to Buckingham Palace
Yeah, I
to
remember
get the
that.
Queen. It was so cool.
I mean, it's just an artistic thing, and
The
if they
local host-
if France
the
chose to
local
do
host-
the satanic bang you thing,
That's on
their-
France.
That's
You can
on them.
you can protest France all you want for being that way. That has nothing to do with the
They're hosting,
Olympics.
So I'm not going to watch. I don't
I know, but
watch it
you-
anyway.
you're
So
not-
I was actually going to watch
Fair.
just because of Gold Zone.
You don't want to watch the weightlifting?
No, I've never have.
Okay. You don't want to watch the women's water polo?
No, the only thing I really liked in summer was the men's swimming.
Men's circle jerk?
Because of Michael Phelps. And that's, no longer a thing. So
Anyways.
he was badass to watch. That's all I got.
The baddest ever.
Do we have anything else to add before we end?
I'm good.
Whoever David is, he's absolutely molesting you right now on
I
her
don't give a
stuff here.
fuck. My opinion. Shove it up your ass.
Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. If you need some reading, Visit www.tipballs.com. Go to the Tip Thoughts section, and you will find our blogs there, which are updated weekly for your reading pleasure. If you can't read, make sure to join us every Wednesday right around 5 p.m. Until the season starts, because then it's a full boat, baby. You're not going to hear anything but our voices for 6 months. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week.